The next speaker for the evening is Jamie Wilkes, the master teacher. The master teacher, Jamie Wilkes.
Do you remember your favorite teacher? The one who inspired you to reach for the stars? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, friends, and guests, I remember my favorite teacher. Dare I say the master teacher. I was 6 years old, and Dr. Warsaw had just finished explaining to my parents that I had a profound hearing loss, that essentially I was deaf in my left ear. And it was at this time that the master teacher took me by the hand and informed me the great lessons that she would provide for me. Oh, but even then, as a quiet, shy, inattentive, deaf child, I knew that I hated her intensely. No matter. A year later, my first lesson came. Sitting at the kitchen table, I informed my mother I could not do my homework because I could not hear my teacher's instructions. My mother simply looked at me and said, Jamie, no one in this world will ever care about your hearing loss. No one will ever say, stop! Jamie can't hear. For if you want anything in this world, you must learn to hear for yourself. Thus I learned lesson number 1, that this hearing loss could equal loss in terms of the quality of my life. Therefore, I just decided I would be an attentive child. Oh, and that served me well. One day, in middle school, I saw what every child secretly dreams of, an open door to the teacher's lounge. Mischievously, I scampered over just in time to hear my 6th grade teacher exclaim, "Why? Why won't Robin wear her hearing aid?" And I was on the other side thinking, who really wants to wear, oh gosh, a hearing aid? I realized lesson number 2 in that moment, that I was not the only deaf child at my school, but that I was not alone. Do you know how empowering it is to know that you and I are not alone? Now, I never told Robin my secret, and she never shared hers, but I stood a bit taller knowing that I wasn't alone. Now, lesson number 3, Dad is still in trouble for this one. It was an easy parent conference. He should have said, how's my girl doing? Mom would have said, how's my baby doing? The teacher would have said, she's got an A, right? Easy, right? Say yes, right? That didn't happen because the very next day, my teacher runs up to me, looks me in the eye, and says, Jamie, I will help you today. My teacher helped me by speaking to me in this manner for a month and a half. Thus I learned lesson number 3, that the responsibility for my hearing loss and any endeavor to improve my life started with me. Now I would like to say that one day, it was a miracle. I could hear. But my life is like rock, paper, scissors. When I stand tall and firm to be a rock, this hearing loss has a way of overshadowing me. But no matter. Just as my hearing loss is my master teacher, I am a master student. Now, as a child, I'm ashamed to say that the answer to every quiz, every question that life gave me was always the smile, nod, make no change. How are you doing today? What's your name? Your car being told. But as you can see, the answer can't always be D. Sometimes the answer's got to be A. Excuse me, can you repeat that last question? Sometimes the answer is B. Consult the manual and look for visual cues. But sometimes I tell you, I've learned that the answer is C. Where I just simply look at you and say, you know what? I don't hear so well in my left ear. Let me get on this side of you so I can hear you with my good ear. Yes, I am convinced as I look out across this audience, so much so of lesson number 2, that I'm not alone. That everyone in this room has a loss. Whether you lost something in your childhood or a long life's journey. But I tell you, nay, I say, I leave it at your charge. Embrace your loss. Embrace your master teacher. For in that embrace, there is love. In that embrace is your constructive transformation. And in that embrace is your ultimate reward. Mr. Toastmaster.